In this lecture, I'll talk about building vocabulary and reading skills for the GRE. So let's begin. So, to score well on the verbal section of the GRE, you need to have a rich vocabulary. In fact, it's a prerequisite to know a couple hundred words before you start preparing for the text completion and sentence equivalence question types. For reading comprehension, you may not need a very rich vocabulary. So you can start preparing for reading comprehension while you're building up your vocabulary. So I recommend that you should know at least 300 to 500 words before you start preparing for text completion as well as sentence equivalence. Also remember that it's not just enough to cram the words or know the words by heart. You have to understand how they're used in a context, in a certain context, in different sentences. You should also learn secondary meaning. So what do I mean by secondary meaning? Let's see an example. So you're very much familiar with this common word check. And you know that it means to examine accuracy or quality of something. So this is the primary meaning of this word, or the common meaning of this word, to examine accuracy or quality of something. But there is a secondary meaning, or an additional meaning that many people are not familiar with. It means to stop or slow the progress of something. And there are very good chances that on the GRE, if you see this word check, so it would be used in this context or in the context of this secondary meaning. So knowing the primary as well as the secondary meaning of different words is imperative. Now there are three recommended sources that you can use to increase your GRE vocabulary. And I recommend that you use all three. I'll let you know why I recommend all three sources. So the first source is called the GRE Basic Word List 500. So as its name implies, there are 500 words into this list. And as I've said, that since knowing a good vocabulary is a prerequisite for sentence completion, text completion and sentence equivalence, so I would recommend that you use this word list which has words from A to Z, and these are 500 in numbers. So you could maybe, depending upon your skill and your speed, you can maybe learn these words in, let's say, 3 weeks or 1 month. So after 3 weeks or 1 month of preparation for these words, you would be able to practice for text completion and sentence equivalence question types. Once you're done with that, you can move on to the 1100 words list by balance. Now many people recommend that 1100 words are good enough. Yes, that is true, that they might be good enough, but maybe you want to go an extra mile. So in that case, you have one additional word list which has 3500 words. Now remember, 3500 words or learning 3500 words is a difficult task. It's not easy. So you have to give a lot of time and energy to learning 3500 words. And that's why I recommend using these three sources. So they take you from a low level of vocabulary to a high level of vocabulary in 3 steps. As I've said before, you could stop here at 1100 words. One way to know whether you have enough vocabulary would be to try a couple of text completion and sentence equivalence questions and see if you are comfortable with solving those questions. See whether you have enough vocabulary that helps you go about solving those questions. If not, you could start learning the 3500 word list. Remember that these are not unique 3500 words. Most of the words that you learn in this 1100 word vocabulary are included in this gigantic vocabulary list as well. Okay. So let's talk about some reading sources. So as I've said earlier in my previous video, that there are three different types of questions on the verbal section. One is text completion, second is sentence equivalence, and to do both of them, you need to have rich vocabulary. For the third type of question, which are the reading comprehension questions, you need to have really good reading skills. So you should be able to read faster and understand the structure of the passages quickly and properly. For that, you need to read a lot of articles. So there are different resources that I recommend that you should start reading right away. And remember, your reading skills would take some time to build. So you should read at least 3, 4, maybe 5 articles at least every day from these sources. The first source is called AL Daily, which stands for Arts and Letter Daily. So it's a website which provides you with different essays on arts and social sciences. So for topics related to arts and social sciences, you can use this resource. The second source for enhancing your reading skills is New Yorker, which provides you with essays on a very broad array of topics. So you could get essays or articles regarding science, technology, arts, as well as social sciences. So you can improve your reading skills on all of these different areas. And finally, there's Science News. Science News also has some very technical and science related articles. So if you're not that good, or if you lack some knowledge in science, so reading these articles could definitely increase your knowledge as well as your reading skills in this area. So this was all about how you can enhance your vocabulary and reading skills. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for future videos.